Good evening, everyone, and welcome to SACAP's coaching information session. My name is Katlego Matlala, and I am SACAP's Junior Brand Manager, currently based at the Johannesburg campus. Today's session will give you a little bit of more information about our coaching programs, the requirements needed should you need to apply, and we will also get into speaking to one of our alumni who will give a testimonial about being a student at SACAP. Lastly, we will also have a live Q&A at the end of the session. So before we get into today's session, there are just a few house rules that I would like to bring to your attention. We will have a short Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So please feel free to pop your questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. We are aware that there's still high internet usage in the country, causing down delays in some areas. And because we're also living in the era of load shedding, we are aware that it may take place at any given moment. And should you or any of our panelists get cut off because of that, rest assured that the session will be made available on our social media channels by the end of this week, and we will provide links in the chat box towards the end of the session. Also, please be advised that we are still working from home, so should you at any given point hear an occasional microwave beep or a child screaming in the background, we really do apologize for that. But to kick off the session, I will now just start giving you an overview of our SACAP campus locations. SACAP has 4 physical campuses based in Cape Town, Johannesburg, Pretoria, as well as Durban. We also have a fully fledged online campus that has been running for 6 years and has recently launched 2 new study options, that being the online flexi and the online live option. Before I waste any more of your time, I will now hand over to Kaylin, who will tell us a little bit about SACAP's approach to learning. Kaylin, over to you.
Thank you very much, Kat. Good evening, everybody. I'm Kaylin Philander, the coaching manager at SACAP. And I will basically be taking you through the various coaching programs that runs at SACAP. The slide in front of you speaks into SACAP's approach to learning. And I will firstly touch on the smaller classrooms that we have. So there's a maximum of 25 students in a class, which creates a great learning environment and allows for great engagement and participation for each student. Each coaching student has their individual journey, and there's a great focus on your self-development, but there's also a nice opportunity for you to grow your network and your coaching community. All our educators are credentialed coaches, whereby classes are very interactive, and there's a nice balance between your theory and your practice. Across all the coaching programs, there is a great academic rigor with a psychological lens into the coaching industry. In relation to SACAP's online resources, My SACAP is the student online platform whereby all your student requirements will be housed. You will find policies, processes, requirements, as well as your assessments and all your module material. At the bottom, in the bottom panel, you'll see a range of resources to our digital library. There's a range of ebooks and journal articles that you can use as resources for your assessments, for your research, for your thesis, or your research papers. SACAP is an accredited institution, and when we focus on the coaching programs specifically, all coaching programs are accredited by the International Coaching Federation, as well as with COMENSA. So with regards to the coaching programs at SACAP, there are 2 short learning programs, one being the Coach Practitioner program and the second one being the Advanced Coach Practitioner program. If we focus on these 2 short learning courses, at the end of the programs, you will receive a certificate of competence that will speak into the ICF training hours as well as the additional practical activities. The Coach Practitioner program is a 5-month program. It entails 3 modules and has additional activities, which I will walk you through in the next slide. In relation to the Advanced Coach Practitioner program, it is a 6-month program which requires the completion of the Coach Practitioner program. And together, the Coach Practitioner Program and the Advanced Coach Practitioner Program make up year one of the postgraduate diploma in coaching. The postgrad is an honors equivalent qualification. It runs for 2 years and it is on a part-time basis. So it is designed with the working professional in mind. So which qualification would suit you best? I will focus on each specific program, but please note, when you start the program, whether you start with the Coach Practitioner Program or whether you start with the postgraduate diploma, at the very start, the class would be a blend of Coach Practitioner Program students as well as postgrad students. So focusing on the Coach Practitioner, as I've mentioned before, it is a 5-month program. It also includes mentor coaching sessions, which take place 6 months thereafter. You start off the program with applied psychology and coaching. And the very first module is basically an introduction to psychology. So in class, you will be introduced to the various psychological theories and how these relate to the coaching conversations. You would then step into coaching foundations, relationship, and communication skills. And that specific module focuses on the ICF competencies as well as the COMENSA behavioral standards. And it is at that particular moment in your coaching journey that you dive straight into your coaching skills and competencies. The module that takes place thereafter is facilitating learning and results. That module allows for a deeper dive into your competencies, to move from a doing to being the coach. You are then geared with additional tools and skills to assist your client in moving forward. All 3 modules entail assessments. These assessments vary dependent on the content. There are assessments that focus on reflective practices. So as a coach, you will be encouraged to journal. You'll be encouraged to self-reflect and to kind of track your growth and your self-development as you move through the program. There's also opportunities for very academic essays where you explore different theories. How would it take place in a conversation, in a coaching conversation? And how would it impact you as a coach and also as your client? The 2 modules, Coaching Foundations and Facilitating Learning and Results, those are called intensive modules. And these modules take place over 4 consecutive days. Students are expected to be in class, contact time with the educator, and it also gives a nice insight into what takes place in a coaching session. So as much as there's readings and there's PowerPoint slides that your educators will take you through, there's also a lot of emphasis on the practical components. So as you are taught a specific competency, you also have the opportunity to practice it immediately. In addition to the class time, there's also the practical components. The first point is there are 2 observed sessions. Yeah, there are 2 coaching observed sessions. These are basically learning opportunities whereby you would demonstrate your coaching competencies. So you would have a real coaching session, a very genuine session with a real client. With the permission of the client, you would record the session. And the session will then be submitted to a credentialed mentor coach. The mentor coach will listen to the recording, they would evaluate your session, and they will give you written feedback based on the ICF's competencies as well as COMENSA's behavioral standards. With the feedback, you will have the opportunity to meet with that observer coach and have an individual mentor coaching session. And that session basically gives you the opportunity to work through the written feedback, to highlight the competencies that you are comfortable with, that you are doing great of, but then to also emphasize your areas of development. And in a very coach-like way, You would partner with your mentor coach. You would set your goals. You would discuss how you would improve on your areas of development, and you would put those action steps in place. There are 3 of those sessions across the program. And it is such a great learning opportunity to kind of see how you articulate what you've learned in class and how you've kind of weaved it through a coaching conversation with the client. In addition to those 3 individual mentor coaching sessions, there are also 7 hours of group mentor coaching sessions. These are divided into, these are divided into 4 different sessions over a 12-month period. And the group mentor coaching sessions gives you an opportunity to meet with other students. The group sessions are facilitated by MCC ICF credentialed coaches, and it's such a great learning opportunity to hear the success stories, the challenges, and the concerns that other coaches in training have. There's a great focus on the ICF competencies within these group sessions, but it also allows for students to share their experiences during their coaching journey. To sum up the Coach Practitioner Program, the program is basically the foundation of coaching. At the end of the Coach Practitioner Program, you would be able to run a coaching session from the beginning to the end. You would be able to contract with your client. You would be able to set goals, view options, and to also talk them through the way forward. If we look at the Advanced Coach Practitioner Program, the program is a 6-month program. When registering for this particular program, you kind of go into a deeper dive. You are exposed to more coaching models. You get the opportunity to grow your coaching toolkit. And there's just a bit more depth to it. So that module actually starts off with an evening session called Applying Principles of Adult Learning and Change. And because coaches work with people, we need to understand behavior. We need to understand why they do what they do or why they don't. We also need to understand how adults learn. Personally, we also have to, we work with change management and why is change so hard. And that evening module gives you a nice look into adult learning, to understand motivation, to understand how adults learn. And it also gives you an insight to the different assessments and tools that you can use within a coaching session. The next module in that specific program is Ethics, Values, and Diversity. And this has a very deep look into the ICF's Code of Ethics. And it looks as to what is allowed, what is within the scope of practice for a coach. It also looks at values. During that particular module, you kind of get to know yourself better, you understand your values and your belief systems, and it also gives you insight to your clients and their values and their belief systems. And as well as diversity, we speak about working with males, females, clients with different age ranges. So that module focuses on, basically, the module name speaks about ethics, values, and diversity. And then the final module for the Advanced Coach Practitioner Program is Coaching Models, Methods, and Tools. And over the 5 days within that intensive module, you are introduced to a range of coaching models. You learn new techniques, you grow your own toolkit, and you can then select and kind of understand which models, which tools or techniques resonates with you and what would you like to use in your coaching session. In addition to the class time, there's also assessments. And very much like the Coach Practitioner Program, there are different assessments. It could be an online MCQ quiz. You could have the opportunity to select a model a coaching model, apply it to one of your clients, and reflect what worked, what didn't work. There's also, assessments also include maybe evaluating a peer coach's coaching recording. What would you do differently? What are the areas of development for that specific coach? And it's just a continuous learning opportunity within the program. If we look at the practical components of the Advanced Coach Practitioner program, it entails 4 additional observed coaching sessions. So you would have completed 2 of those sessions in the first program. And when you step into the advanced program, you would then have an additional 4. And the nice thing about the observed coaching sessions is that you would receive the written feedback. So after each session, you would go back to the written feedback, work through your areas of development, set your goals and your action points. And when you submit your next recording, you would ensure that you have mastered some of the competencies. And after each observed session, there is a rating score. And I always say to students, the score is not important. The importance is based on that written feedback. But the rating score does give you a nice statistic or a number to kind of track your growth and see how after each observed session, your score would increase. As students, I think we all love the affirmation. We all like to know that we're on the right track and that we're growing. And I think the observed coaching sessions as well as the individual mentor coaching sessions gives that. At the end of the Advanced Coach Practitioner program, there's the performance exam. So I always say to students, and I think this is possibly the most exciting bit, is that there are no written exams in the coaching programs, but there is a performance exam. The performance exam is basically a 30 to 40 minute coach recording that you will submit. So if you would remember, as I've stated about the observed sessions serve as your practice runs. It kind of gives you that preparation that you require over the first year leading up to your performance exam. So your performance exam is a recording that is then submitted and evaluated by an ICF assessor as well as a COMENSA assessor. And the outcome of the performance exam will basically depict at which level of competence you are coaching at. Before moving on to the postgrad, I would like to highlight that everything that I've mentioned about the Coach Practitioner program and the Advanced Coach Practitioner program, they make up the first year of the postgrad. So once you complete the performance exam, you have basically, if you are registered as a postgrad student, you have completed the first year of study. You would then move into year 2 of the postgrad. And that gives you an opportunity to find your niche. Year 2 also gives you an opportunity to find your signature presence as a coach. Year 2 includes 4 modules. You start the second year off with building your coaching model. And as the name describes it, you now have the opportunity to look at all the coaching models, techniques, the tools that you've been introduced to, and select the aspects that resonates with you, and then build your own coaching model. You would then have the opportunity to present this to your educator and you'll receive feedback on it. And as you weave through your coaching journey, that module would tweak. As you become comfortable and confident as a coach, you would kind of make amendments, build something into it, maybe remove a specific tool. But as you work towards your niche and your signature presence, that particular model is your foundation of your practice. After that specific module, you then move into practitioner research methods in coaching. And that's an intensive module that focuses on the research aspects of coaching. It focuses on the value and the benefit of coaching, and it also gives you an insight to the changes and the shifts. And that module is basically the foundation work for your research paper. The last 6 months of the postgrad includes a 6-month supervised internship, whereby you would have the opportunity to complete 100 paid coaching hours. And this can be added to your coaching log. During your internship at SACAP, you will receive, or you will be allocated with a coach supervisor. Your supervisor will be there to support you while you are at the various placement sites that you will be. They are basically there for you to debrief. You get the opportunity to be guided. So if you're feeling stuck with a specific client, your coach supervisor is there to be your thinking partner, to brainstorm with you, to kind of think it through as to how would you move forward. And the same with the research paper. You will also be allocated a research supervisor. And during those 6 months, there would be specific supervision sessions that you would attend. The supervision sessions will focus on how to collect data, how to analyze it, how to draw out your themes, and then how to present your case study. At the very end, there is a final oral presentation that takes place. It gives you an opportunity to reflect on your 2-year journey at SACAP. It also gives you an opportunity to share your self-development as a coach. Students at this point normally share 2 case studies and they explain the value and the benefit of coaching. That's basically the postgrad as well as all the SACAP coaching programs in a nutshell. When we look at the next slide, it basically depicts it gives you a breakdown of the ICF credentialing processes. And SACAP is an ICF training provider. And for the student that registers for the coach practitioner program, the items listed below is basically the ICF's requirements. So SACAP is the training provider, and we provide the training, we provide the mental coaching hours, but there are specific standard requirements that the student would be responsible for. So if we focus on the coach practitioner program, that program is delivered at the associate certified coach level, which is also known as the ACC. If a student would like to credential with the ICF, they would receive 60 hours of training. The coach practitioner program is currently carries 115 hours. Students will also receive the 10 hours of mentor coaching, and that would be your 3 hours individual as well as your 7 hours of group mentor coaching that I've mentioned earlier. You would then be, as the coach, you would be responsible to complete the ICF's online questionnaire. You would have to submit a performance evaluation. And while you are on your coaching journey, you would also be required to submit your 100 hours of coaching sessions. We do encourage and motivate students that the minute you start your program, you should start coaching. The more often you practice, you grow your coaching log, the more confident and comfortable you become as a coach. When we look at the next column, we focus on the Advanced Coach Practitioner Program. The Advanced Coach Practitioner Program, as well as the postgrad, they are delivered on the Professional Certified Coach level, which is also known as the PCC. With this, you require 125 training hours. You also require 10 hours of mentor coaching, as well as a performance evaluation. And the red ticks basically confirms that those are the 3 aspects that you would receive once you complete the Advanced Coach Practitioner Program. The 2 aspects that would be the student's responsibility would be the ICF's online questionnaire, as well as the 500 hours of coaching that you would have gathered over a number of months or years, dependent on how active your coaching business is. And if we look at the last column, where we focus on the postgraduate diploma, It's also delivered on the PCC level, so the Professional Certified Coach level. And in order to credential with the ICF, again, very similar to the advanced program, you would require 125 training hours. You would require your 10 hours of mentor coaching as well as your performance evaluation. In addition, because of your 6-month internship program, you would have completed 100 hours of coaching. So your responsibility as the coach would be to grow your log. So you would need to gather an additional 400 hours, and you would also need to complete the online questionnaire that the ICF has. And the online questionnaire basically focuses on the ethics or the code of ethics of a coach. And there's a lot of preparation, there's a lot of online tools that can assist you before taking the online questionnaire. I would now like to hand over to Jade, the admissions officer.
Thanks, Kaylin. My name is Jade Williams. I'm the coaching admissions officer at Cape Town campus. I assist with inquiries and applications regarding our coaching programs. I just want to discuss our application process this evening. It's quite a quick process, it's easy steps. First step would be to inquire, like you're doing this evening. You can also, if you have any questions regarding the programs, you can access our website, lodge an inquiry or question. Admissions officer like myself will be assisting you there. You can book an appointment with me as well if you'd like to talk directly, virtually, or via telephone regarding your study options with our coaching programs and career guidance. So once you are decided on your coaching program and you're ready to apply, you have then step 2 to submit an application. We have online applications at SACAP. You can access online application website through the link below on your screen, or you can access our online applications through our website. In order to process your application, we need a certified ID, certified highest qualification results, a updated CV, and a coaching application fee of $300. Once your application is processed, you'll receive an outcome letter and perform an invoice. We can also issue an invoice to your company if any companies are assisting with your registration. And once you have been accepted for the program, the next step then would be to register. In order to register, you pay initial registration fee. And to finalize your registration, you'll need to submit a payment plan. Next slide. To settle a payment plan, SACAP has 3 payment options. It's an upfront payment, it's a termly payment, and a signed debit order to settle the monthly installment for each program. Just to note that the 5% discount applies to the PGC program, the 2-year program only. So our applications are still open for term 2 for our May intake for coaching. If you'd like to apply, you are more than welcome to do so. We start on the 6th of May, and there is enough time to apply and register for one of our coaching programs. So I hope to process that application soon. It's me, Jade, admissions. Thanks, Kat. It's over to you.
Thank you so much, Jade, and thank you to Kaylin as well for sharing that information. We do certainly hope that this has made the decision for you guys to study with us a lot more easier. Please also remember to keep sending your questions in the Q&A box. But right now, I will hand over to Abigail, who will share a little bit more about her time at SACAP. Abigail, over to you.
Hi, Kat. Thank you so much. I am Abigail. I am a SACAP alumni coach. I've done the full 2-year postgraduate diploma, and I've actually briefly stepped into a supporting role at SACAP as well, just until June this year. But I've been asked to speak on my journey as a SACAP student. I can say that the program has honestly been a professional, well, it's just given me the skills, it's given me the knowledge, it's given me a confidence within myself as a coach, but it's also changed me as a person. since obviously the work that we're doing as coaches is not only assisting our clients, so we're taking it home. I've become a confident person. I have skills within myself, management skills that have been wonderful to not only change me, but it's also changing my friends, it's changing my family. So in that regard, I definitely actually gained more than I initially signed up for. And this is advertised as a part-time program. How part-time is that? Well, I can say that I was working part-time and I managed this course really, really easily. It's quite difficult to say the number of hours that I used every week to do my coursework, but I would say between 7 and 12 hours a week. But I also had peers that were working full time, and they, sort of scheduled their lives and managed that well. In terms of the educators and the classrooms, I can say, as Kaylin said, the classes are small, they are really interactive. It's not just a whole bunch of theory thrown at you. It's really for you to work with your peers, coach your peers, interact, that you are actually stepping out there with some real tools and a confidence within your work. And the educators are excellent. They are not only there to assist you with the learning and with the theory, but they're also so willing to share their advice because they are all working within the coaching space. And I can say that SACAP has been exceptionally supportive. I will just myself, I didn't need too much additional support. I wasn't going through any personal crises, but having stepped into a supported role now, I can say that SACAP has got a great focus on student support, and they always ask for you to step forward and let them know how they can support you better. And also just in terms of your academic support, Kaylin mentioned the coaching, mentor coaching group, mentor coaching. I found that exceptionally helpful to have a space to inquire and to learn and grow, that was outside of my class time. And in terms of the resources, so before stepping into each module, you get readings, you get video clips, and obviously that's really helpful in terms of your learning, but I can honestly say that I use that at least on a weekly basis now with the clients that I'm working with. So it's really not something that just stays within the classroom. It's something that I'm using to this day. And I also want to just speak on the internship. So it's not just a whole bunch of theory. You really get an opportunity, if you do decide to do the full 2 years, to step into a space where you are seeing real clients. And I believe it's a minimum of 8 clients for a minimum of 75 hours of coaching in total. And I found this exceptionally helpful. I came to quickly understand that clients maybe don't show up on time, or they ask you to work outside of your scope. And it was really amazing to have the support of my peers and of SACAP while I was navigating those learning curves. And finally, I just want to speak about what takes place after studying. I can say that I actually started my work while I was studying. I started my Instagram page a couple of, probably a year into my studies. So I had that going for me while I was starting. I have a podcast that I have only actually recently started, but I realized that taking the steps to start a business does take time. And at the moment, I'm still really working hard to get my clients a year after studying, but I can say that I've got 3 overseas clients. Zoom has brought an amazing element to this work. And I'm hoping that after another year, I can say that my diary will be full. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. But I trust that this has been valuable and helpful, and given you an understanding of my really wonderful experience having studied at SACAP. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that information, Abigail. We will now get into our Q&A sessions. Please remember to continue sending your questions while we proceed with the session. I will start with the first question that is directed to Kaylin. Please, can you just help us out? There's a question that came through and they're asking, what does 75 paid hours mean?
Thank you, Kat, and thank you, Tumi, for the question. So 75 paid hours means that there needs to be an exchange between the coach and the client. ICF defines paid as it doesn't have to be money or an invoice that's been exchanged between the coach and the client, but it could also be a cup of coffee. It could be a chocolate between the coach and the client. It could be services rendered, so possibly your client can offer you a specific service and you can ensure that the coaching session takes place. So as long as there is an exchange of an item or a service or money in that regard.
Thank you so much for that. And another one, Kaylin, this is still for you. This one says, once completed, am I a member of the ICF or COMENSA? I have completed a CUT executive coaching course during lockdown. Can I move into the advanced program?
Thank you, Kat, for the question. Thank you, Philip. So in relation to the first part of your question, SACAP is a coach training provider and students receive the training as well as part of the mentor coaching sessions. And once you complete the program, you would then be required to credential with the ICF or with COMENSA independently. So both professional bodies have their own processes, of which SACAP would assist and guide you through the process to ensure that you are equipped and that you have all the relevant documents to support your credentialing process. And then in relation to the second part of your question, it would be important for the team, and I suppose that we could contact you tomorrow morning to just discuss what your previous coaching course entailed, what was the training hours, what was the accreditation, and then to compare or align it with our coach practitioner program in order to understand how we could move forward. So our team would be able to assist and maybe have an offline conversation with you in the morning.
Thank you very much, Kaylin. And there's another one that just popped in on the side, and they have asked, hi there, I have completed grade 11. Would I be able to apply? I think this is more of an admissions question for Jade to see if we can just assist us with that, please.
Yes, what I would recommend is our 5-month coach practitioner program. It has a minimum entry requirement of 3 years work experience in any field. It doesn't have to be related to coaching or no coaching experience needed. There's no entry requirement of an NQF level, so this will be the best option to start with.
Thank you so much for that, Jade.
Thanks, Tamara, for your question.
Thank you, Jade. There's just another one asking, Kaylin, just if you can help me out here, asking to kindly advise on the frequency of the lectures times and whether it's virtual or hybrid, so that being both contact and hybrid.
Thank you for the question. So with relation to the times, we have a provisional timetable for each program. So you are able to see the breakdown of when your modules are taking place, which days and dates, and you can actually map out, for the postgrad students, you can actually map out the next 2 years. The frequency of lectures, we start lectures on the 6th of May, and you actually start with evening sessions, and all evening modules will take place online using the Zoom platform. Evening sessions are usually on a Thursday evening from 6 till 9 p.m. with enough breaks to have your dinner. And then, when looking at the intensive modules, I know that there's an intensive module that takes place towards the end of June, as well as towards the end of August. And that is due to take place face-to-face, either on the Cape Town or Johannesburg campus. For more details around the exact dates of these modules, the admissions teams can share the provisional timetables, which gives you a nice overview of either the next 5 months, the next year, or in the case of the postgrad, for the next 2 years.
Thank you so much for that feedback, Kaylin. I'm just trying to sift through to see if we have any more questions. We have one that just came through saying, hi there. I'm currently quality coach in the private sector. Could I start with the advanced coach practitioner program, or do I have to start at the foundation phase? Kaylin, if you could maybe just also feed into this for me as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Amanda, for the question. I think what's important for us to understand as the coaching team would need to be just your previous coach training, perhaps, to understand if there has been any accredited programs, any training hours that have been completed, and how that aligns with our coach practitioner program. So, yeah, I think it would be quite beneficial for the team to touch base with you in the morning and to then further discuss that offline.
Okay, thank you for that. This one is more of an admissions related question, Jade. Just to ask, when do registration close for our coaching programs?
Okay, so our registrations will close on the 25th of April. We have our orientation on the 29th, so we'd like everybody to be registered before. We might even push it to the 28th, but try and get your applications as soon as possible to get processed.
All right, thank you, Jade. While I still have you here,
see that
this question just popped in and it says, I have a Bachelor of Arts in Theology. Is it possible for me to start with a 1-year program instead of the 5 months program?
Okay, by the 1-year program, you might be referring to the 2-year PGDC, the postgrad diploma in coaching. That requires a bachelor degree, so undergrad on ICF 7, which your arts in theology might be on, should be on. That I can recommend for the 2-year program. It does qualify for the 2-year program. You don't necessarily have to start with a 5-month program. That is for anybody that wants a short-term program and quicker program to develop coaching skills. The 2-year program would be an option for you with your qualification.
Thank you so much. Let me just check one more time. They keep popping up. One last one that just came through now is, when will the following intake be after May? This is still maybe just something, Jade, that you can help me with on there, please.
Okay. So SACAP usually starts our coaching programs in our 2nd term each year. So we don't offer it in our 1st term, February intake. We offer it in 2nd term, usually around May, first few weeks of May each year. So next intake will be the 2022 May. Applications usually open a bit earlier the previous year, around November, October for the following year. So if you're looking to apply in 2022, our applications should open up around November, October later this year. So you can apply then if you wish to.
Awesome. And then just one last one that also just popped in. This question saying, can I study the coach practitioner program and then decide if I want to continue with the postgrad? Okay,
thanks, Urvasi. Yes, you can. The coaching programs, as Kaylin mentioned previously, it does flow with the postgrad degree. So the first 3 modules that's included or contained in the coach practitioner program, that is the first 3 modules within the postgrad diploma. So if you have the minimum age requirement, which is a bachelor degree, ICF 7 qualification or equivalent, you can start with a coach practitioner, feel your way, see if it is for you. If you enjoy the coaching program and you like to continue into the PGDC, you can do so. You can merge straight into the postgrad if you qualify for the postgrad diploma. We can credit, if you're going to merge within the 5 years, you can credit into the postgrad diploma. It's an option for you as well.
Thank you so much, Jade, and thank you to as well, Kaylin, for giving us that insightful information. And we hope that whatever information that has been shared on today's session has made your decision to study with us, especially our coaching programs, a little bit easier. Please just remember to continue to leave your email addresses in the chat box, and we will get our team to be in contact with you. And if there's any other information after contact, you're more than welcome to speak to admissions team, and they will get in touch with you and answer whatever questions that you have on there. Please also just remember, if you missed anything in the session will be available on our social media platforms, which is where we will also just give you an update on any events, any webinars, if there's any launches of any programs, everything will be put out on our social media programs. The handles are on your screen. Please do be on the lookout for that. And without wasting any further time, I'd just like to thank every one of our attendees for taking the time out of your schedules, especially at an evening like this, to join us for this session. And we really hope it has been insightful. And we wish you have a lovely evening further. Thank you so much.